I think we can all relate to the fact that music touches our soul, and it's deep. It's more than just words. It's more than just the music. And to be able to go and hear that in a live setting, interact with our artists, it just gives people a chance to put aside some of the struggles of the day.
Feels like forever ago, but before I started Lionhearts, I was a musician. I used to travel and play full time. Music was really important to me. I went for a visit down to the Kingston Street Mission to see Marilyn McLean, actually. She'd always said to me, bring some friends down, we'll play some music and maybe play some bongos, whatever, but people love music. And I brought Mike Kidd and Doug Vanderhorten, and they had grabbed their guitars, and we went down for a visit. And when you walk into any shelter, it's not exactly bustling with hope. Usually it's a little bit sad. But as soon as Mike and Doug pulled their guitars out, the whole mood in the room changed. They started playing music. And sure enough, people started to pull their chairs around. They started to yell their favorite songs. These guys were playing music, and I watched the whole room come alive. I've played in tons of venues all across the world. And I'm like, man, wouldn't it be cool to have a venue where all these folks could come in and you could see them come alive again? And that's where the Embassy idea came from. A place where we could pull these folks in, have live music played. How can we create the not-for-profit charity version of Hard Rock Cafe? That was what I was working on in my head.
My name's Liam Thomas, and I'm one of the operation managers for the Embassy Live Music Cafe Kingston. To be able to just come in, relax, have music, and not have to worry about what's going on for that, hour, 2 hours of time that they're here at the venue is really important to us and hopefully to them as well.
It's a dry venue, and that's the biggest thing is because it's dry. It invites people who don't want to go and be in the bar scene. They can come here and get the great music. And the music, that is the focus, which is different than when you go to other places. It's just part of the night. The music is our night. I run Kingston Street Mission, and a number of years ago, Travis Blackmore, who's the head of Lionhearts, came down with some volunteers, and they spent some time with us and played some music, and he realized then just really what the music was doing for the folks, and he said, we got to do something.
When I found out that the Embassy was back on, I set it in my calendar and told everybody, the music, the people, it's just such a wonderful opportunity and event. So, best place I could choose to be on a Saturday night.
Doesn't matter your walk of life or how much money you make, we're all the same because music brings us all to the same level. Everybody's just enjoying and concentrating on the musician and on their music and making new friends.
We reach out to a lot of people who they're shelter or they're food insecure. It just gives them a place to have people know their name, and that's something we strive for quite a bit, is to get to know their first names. So many of the folks out on the street, they're not always treated with the same respect as some others.
I've had people stop me in tears because he said, nobody's ever remembered my name before. When you're on the street, you're an invisible, you're anonymous. Nobody really pays attention. But when I come here, I'm a person, I'm a human, and I'm called by my name. And so that, to me, is the most important thing, really, is that they feel that love and that they're welcomed.
The idea of the Spire is to take this facility, a heritage facility, and get as much community use out of it as we can, with the hope that we are also preserving the space for as long as possible. I used to part-time work at a men's rehabilitation center, and every Saturday night, the gentlemen would very much look forward to coming to the Embassy. It meant a lot to them because it was a venue they could go to, they could talk with people, listen to live music, and it took their mind off of, I think, a lot of the rehabilitation side of things. At some point, I reached out to Travis, who is the founder of Lionhearts, and I said, we have this great facility here. Would you be interested in having it come here if you're looking for a facility? And so just kind of snowballed from there, and we're really happy about the relationship.
For folks who are shelter insecure or food insecure, we distribute tickets to different agencies. So we distribute to the shelters, Lionheart Shelters. We distribute to other feeding agencies like Martha's Table and other locations. And so we'll hand them out there so that they can give them to the people who go through their programs. And when they come in on a Saturday night, they have a ticket in hand. They're no different than anybody else, and up they come into the venue. They can walk up to the canteen, get a snack and some coffee, and sit down for a while. The tickets don't always cover all the expenses of a night, but that's not what we're aiming for. Our aim is to provide something that people don't have, which is access to live music.
It's really just about the music and the fellowship, the community. I've seen friends here that, like pre-COVID, I haven't seen them since then when the embassy had to close down. And getting together with some friends, and I've got there's some young fellas with us as well. It's just a nice family event for me.
When they walk in the door, doesn't matter where you've been, where you know, if you need something to eat, just come and have something to eat. That's part of Lionhearts. You know, we have people who come in who've never been around people, who've maybe been on the street and they're a little nervous at first, but then they come back again the next week.
As part of the Lionhearts overall ethos of reducing poverty and bringing some dignity and respect, it's one thing to feed the body, but we believe that music feeds the soul. It allows us to impact not only a single part of the individual, but all parts of the individual. And it allows them to feel part of this community as well.
I haven't drank over 12 years now, 13 years, and it feels good that I can come into a place and hang out and feel loved, especially here, you know?
It's a bit of an eye-opener, but it doesn't take long to go, wow, you know what, this is a really cool thing, you know? And to be rubbing shoulders with people that you may be just walking past them on the street, to be actually sitting beside them at a table, you know, sharing a meal together and listening to live music is a pretty cool thing. There's very few things in life that can, you know, in the span of 3-4 minutes can reach such a deep place. And I look at these people who are coming every week, they don't get this opportunity to hear live music. You know, it's fresh, it's in the moment, it's spontaneous. And there's those moments where, wow, like, why am I feeling the way I'm feeling? And it's like, you know, your brain's trying to catch up. It just reaches such a, you know, a deep place.
Everybody has to have an outlet, and I know for myself personally, and probably for you, we wouldn't be doing it if it didn't give us some kind of a positive feeling, and even sometimes it'll make you cry, it'll make you laugh, and I think that's why we enjoy it, and we love projecting that to other people so that they can maybe get that enjoyment as well.
If there's a song that you connect with, it could be just the rhythm of the song, it could be the lyrics, it could be both. To see that connection happen on the face of somebody who's listening to it at the same time, that's what really gets us about playing music.
It's our favorite gig to do ever.